Learners, in this video I will continue the poem Ozymandias of Egypt again. So what happened, as you know, Ozymandias was a powerful king from the ancient land or ancient civilized land or a country, Egypt. So here in the poem the narrator could able to meet the traveler from the antique land named Egypt, and that traveler was able to see the fragmented or the broken statue of the king Ozymandias. And what happened, Ozymandias, as you know, that was a very powerful king from the Egypt, and that the broken statue or all the parts of the body of that particular king, it was made of stone. So it was all, everything was lying in the sand of the vast desert, and the traveler could come across, or he came across the trunkless legs, trunkless without the body. He could able to see the legs were there, legs of stone were standing in the desert. And he also could able to see the shattered, means the broken, completely broken head of the statue. Completely broken parts of the statue was buried, half buried, or that was lying buried or partly buried in the sand. So what happened, that particular face, the face of the statue was bearing a frown, or the frown gesture, or the like a kind of hatred kind of, or the dislike kind of gesture it was creating. And there was a mask of sneer means that the comment, and it was very cruel. That's why cold is used by the poet or the speaker. Cold comment was there, as if it was creating, or it was bearing a cold comment. That means very cruel comment. So that seems to suggest that Ozymandias was a very he was a kind of autocratic ruler, and he must have yielded, or he must possess a lot of power over his subjects. It implies that he, during his lifetime, during his period of walk, means he was very much autocratic ruler who subjugated, or he brutally molested all his subjects, means okay, he dominated his subjects at all. He was showing his power, autocratic ruling power. The narrator here refers to the ability of the sculptor. The narrator was referring the ability or the greatness of the sculptor or the particular art, who skillfully reproduced the vain nature of the king Ozymandias, or the ruler Ozymandias. And there was also mentioned on the pedestal, means on the foundation, on the base of the statue, where the statue stands, on the base there were some words, and those words appeared like that, within double quotation. That means those are the words of the king itself. So my name is Ozymandias, king of kings. Yeah, look at my work. My name is Ozymandias. I am the king of kings, means I am over all the superior kings. That look on my works means he was appealing the travelers. He was appealing all of the people to look at his works. That is very powerful. That is mighty, and that all those works were creating despair to his subjects. Means that was written, all those words implied that particular thing. He was a very autocratic ruler. So Ozymandias of Egypt, but the thing is that there were, the greatness of the artist was there. His heart got fed up by creating that particular art, but creating that particular art of the king Ozymandias, reproducing that art. But the thing is that greatness of the art or the greatness of the artist was still lying there, but nothing besides remained. Not the powerful king, not even the powerful king, neither his power, but the greatness of the art was there. So basically Ozymandias of Egypt is a sonnet. You will get sonnet. The characteristics of sonnet is that there should be 14 lines poem. So but there is no clear division, or the first 8 lines are octave and the next 6 lines are sestet. But here there is no clear division between the octave and the sestet. So here Shelley, the poet, he uses Ozymandias is a metaphor to comment upon the impermanence of the political power. During that particular time, during his kingdom, he was very powerful, but that was quite impermanent. That was never lasted. That didn't last Okay, that didn't last forever. His power gone, his vanity gone, his everything is gone. But that greatness of the, it is very interesting also that the poet has distanced himself from the subject matter. The subject matter is there, so it is who, the traveler. The traveler was narrating the complete story to the narrator. He was telling the complete story to the narrator. And through this poem, the poet Shelley, he was bringing forth, or he brings forth to the reader of the poem, that the idea of human mortality, that is the main theme in the poem. The idea of human mortality and the permanence of the art is there. So art will last forever, but the human being or the human mortal, all the things, which your pride, power, pride, arrogance, vanity, all everything will be gone after some time, but the greatness of the art will remain forever. That is the main theme of the poem. And here the poet Shelley also reaffirms the idea. He tells about the idea that yes, that is the main idea, or that is the main theme of the poem, that human should be die after some time, or the all everything, pride, vanity, arrogance will be gone after some time, but the greatness of the artist or the greatness of art will remain forever. And there is a division, clear division, that human mortality and the permanence of the art. So that is there. So this is about the poem. I hope you have understood well. So thank you for watching this video.